What's up, guys? Enkiri here, and welcome to vlog number 76. Today I've got a pretty solid upper body session for you guys. First off is a volume PR on the strict press that I paired up with a few face pulls, and then I followed that up with some more solid volume work on the Larson press, along with some heavy curls on the easy bar. So let's start things off with the strict press. This is my lightest press session of the week right now, and also contains the most volume, both on the strict press and on the Larson press. For this session, I was up to 150 pounds, and the goal here was to complete the full 4 sets of 7 reps, which is an amount of volume I've never completed before with this weight. Last time I showed you guys this workout, I was using 145 pounds, and I believe I only managed 2 sets of 7 and 2 sets of 6 in that session. So I had to do another session with 145 to complete the 4x7, and then after that, a couple sessions at 147.5 pounds before finally moving up to 150 here. And I think this was either my second or third time using 150 pounds before I was finally able to complete the full 4x7 with it. So, as you can see, quite a few sessions took place in between here and the last time I showed you guys this particular workout. But to go from failing to complete the full rep scheme with 145 pounds to completing all 28 reps with 150 pounds is actually a pretty decent bump up for me. Yeah, it's only 5 pounds and blah, 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 but I'm not complaining. This volume work is tough, and those last few reps, especially in the final 2 sets, really start getting difficult to grind out. The fatigue here after completing so many reps is just a slightly different sort of fatigue from what you get with the heavy triples, for instance. It becomes much more difficult to maintain form, for example, as all the primary movers are tired, but still have the strength left in them to eke out a few more reps. Whereas with heavy work, you've just either got it or you don't. You're strong enough or you're not. But the fatigue isn't really so much of a factor. So it's good that I'm getting a variety of different stimuli on this lift, I think. Now I actually did 4 sets of face pulls here, 1 for each set of strict presses, but only 2 of them are shown because this video was getting kind of long and I didn't want it to drag too much. I'm using 85 pounds here, which on this pulley is decently heavy for me for this exercise. So 40 total reps was actually a pretty solid bit of work here. Alright, so after the main portion of the workout, I moved on to some no-leg bench presses, i.e. Larson presses, which I paired up with some heavy-ish curls and then some hammer curls to really finish things off. And I just want to touch on the heavy curls real quick because they sucked. I didn't really intend to do these as a semi-cheat curl, but I just couldn't help myself. I'm really used to doing the strict curls at this point with my back leaned up against the wall. And once I took that governor off here, I just couldn't help myself but to cheat the weight up a little bit. But honestly, they just felt shitty. I didn't really feel like my arms were doing very much, whereas when I do the strict curls, my biceps have to work really fucking hard. And the funny part is, I'm not actually that much weaker that way either. This past week, for instance, I did 5 sets of 8 with 95 pounds on the strict curl with a little bit left in the tank. So I think I'll be sticking exclusively with the strict curls from now on. Now for the Larson presses, I'm up to 170 pounds here, and as I've noted before, I'm using a double progression scheme. So last week I did 170 pounds for 5 sets of 8. This week I hit it for 5 sets of 9. The following week I'll go for 5 sets of 10. And then I'll bump up to 172.5 pounds the week after that. Just slow and tedious progress. This session went pretty well for this exercise though. Sometimes the tricep pump just gets to be unbearable with all this volume, and in the last 2 sets, I just completely run out of gas, and I'll see a huge drop off in performance from set 3 to set 4, for example, and then another big drop off in the final set as well. So it's nice when I'm able to maintain for all 5 sets. It must mean I'm getting stronger in some capacity, right? Again, I'm taking this progression super slow and steady, and I'm fine with that. I just want to take my time and build. I'm not worried about peaking here. I'm doing the same thing on my heavier bench press session on Mondays as well, where I'm loosely striving to gradually build up my 5x5 on the Larson press. So I'm getting in some really large amounts of high quality, no bullshit volume on this bench press variation right now, and I think it's been helping to nudge my strict press numbers along for a while as well. Dennis Arnold made a video on this topic the other day, actually talking about how just focusing on the bench press has been sufficient to boost his strict press as well, and I chimed in to say that I've never really been lucky enough to have that happen myself. So, like if I focus solely on the bench press, my strict press just kind of stays the same. It doesn't go up or down. But what I didn't mention is, now that I've been focusing mainly on the strict press, but still really hammering the Larson press concurrently and using the idea of treating the bench as a means of accruing additional high quality volume as an accessory to the strict press rather than as a primary exercise itself, I seem to really be benefiting from it. I've never experienced such consistent and long-term steady gains on my strict press before, and I've hit many volume PRs and heavy PR triples and doubles and cluster singles and heavy 5x3 session PRs along the way to prove it. The gains have been coming on slowly, sure, but that's to be expected because I haven't really put on any body weight during this time period. I'm happy with the progress though, both on the strict press and on the Larson press so far. I think that not worrying about using my legs has not only begun to build up more raw upper body strength for me, but it's also really helped to clean up my technique on the bench overall. You'll still see some flashes of old bad habits here and there, where I get a little bit unstable sometimes, or the bar comes up kind of unevenly, especially as fatigue sets in. But overall, I think things have really improved in terms of symmetry. I can feel that I'm pressing more evenly most of the time, and the reps generally feel much smoother now as a result of that as well. The funny part is I never had that problem when I used to bench a lot a couple years ago. Then I had that nagging little shoulder injury for a while in 2017, and I stopped benching for most of the year, I think. And then when I came back to it, it was just all over the place in terms of technique, and I started trying to go too heavy too soon, and I just developed all sorts of terrible bad habits that have taken a really long time now to undo. So it just goes to show you how important it is to not let yourself develop those bad habits in the first place. If shit's not right, then lower the weight until it is. But don't let your ego dictate the course, because it's simply never going to pay off in the end that way. And it can really screw things up for a long time. I am living proof of that. And that's a lesson that I've had to learn too many times now. So I'm passing it on to you guys so that you don't have to make the same mistakes as me. Anyway, that is my charity for the day. So on that note, I think I'll sign off for now. Please be sure to like the video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and definitely leave me some love in the comments down below. Keep training hard, and I will catch you guys next time.